So we talked about Masterpiece Blackarachnia in length the past couple of days, and then out of nowhere, I swear it's almost done on purpose, a whole big photo shoot of the TransformElement Blackarachnia shows up. And for people who don't know, the TransformElement Blackarachnia was the one that's a third-party version that before we knew about Masterpiece Blackarachnia, we were all raving about, like, oh my God, this is amazing. And I was just looking at the photos, and I was looking at a lot of the comments that were online, and people just going like, oh, this is so much better than the Masterpiece one. And guys, two things I want to address. When you look at this TransformElement one, and I want to reiterate just from the beginning, I don't hate this. I like this a lot. This is a great toy. But
Likewise.
when you look at it, it's the engineering for a deluxe figure. That's what it. I'm not saying it's the scale of a deluxe figure, but I'm saying like when you look at the ball joints and the engineering, it's a deluxe figure. And then on top of that, it's very hard to judge because everyone's really comparing the alt mode pretty much.
Right.
You know, like they're looking at that spider mode, and the thing is with the spider mode is it's not show accurate to the Beast Wars cartoon. There's like, you know, the way the talons are on the side, it's not like how it is in the show. There's two giant pegs on the top of the alt mode, you know, and then the biggest thing of all that people are forgetting about, like they're saying like how nice the alt mode looks, but it's still not colored in. I guarantee those legs are going to show their gold, you know, like the gold is still going to show through in some way or another. So while this is a great toy, it's a great toy for a deluxe scale, for a deluxe price point, for a deluxe budget, if you will, of engineering. It's great, don't get me wrong, but I mean, at the same time, the limitations are just as glaring for what it is at that size. In the same way that when the old Legends Sakamoto Blackarachnia came out that was based on the animated mold, when that thing came out, people went crazy over it, but they also accepted that it was what it was in the limitations of what that mold was from animated and how it was not really 100% like how the show model was in Beast Wars.
Right.
So it's the same thing here. It looks great. Don't get me wrong. I think it's fantastic. It's still something I'm still considering picking up, even in light of the Masterpiece one existing. But at the same time, I've just seen so many, like there's just recently been a video about Masterpiece Blackarachnia where they interviewed the engineer and the designer for her. And they showed so much, like they did all this like animation and showing all kinds of like articulation and stuff. And it's apples and oranges. Like, you know, show me with this TransformElement one, her cross her legs, you know, or do any of the poses that the Masterpiece one does. Again, it's
one thing I will give this one is that on her abdomen when she's in alt mode, they actually have like that cover we were talking about with the Masterpiece Blackarachnia. So I mean, like that's there, but I'm trying to figure out where it goes when she's not in alt mode. If there's a place that they put it or something.
It's weapons. That's the thing. It's weapons, and then on top of that, there's very obvious pegs that are present to accommodate the transformation. Like the whole like her breasts pretty much are where those pegs go in. You know, it's like it all flips over and does that. Where show me on the Masterpiece one, that same area where glaring pegs are, they're not there. But again, I'm not going to pick on this because this is something that's a deluxe price point that has to work within the parts numbers of that. And the Masterpiece one's a Masterpiece one. It's just the people that are like, you know, saying like, "Oh, this is so much better than the Masterpiece one." Come on, guys. Let's be real.
We don't even have it. We don't have either of them in hand.
We don't have either of them in hand. This one's not even. This one's not even in. It's not even in color yet. That's another thing too. Like we're comparing. This one's not even in color yet. It went like the first time we saw this mold, it was in the gray resin prototype, and now we have it in what's called the test shot colors, which is like pretty much how it's going to come off the assembly line. Without its colors. So we don't know nothing yet. We don't know nothing, but I'll tell you this right now. Like, I feel like it's people that are taking like, I don't know, I'm just going to look at my shelving here and go, it's like taking like, you know, Masterpiece Shockwave and then comparing it to like, I don't know, like a deluxe Shockwave toy. You know, like, or they never really done a deluxe Shockwave, but a Voyager Shockwave.
They did, but it was a Battle for Cybertron, but I mean, it's not the exact same toy. I know what you mean.
Yeah, like it's just you
It's
can't.
not like we're gonna take this old toy and then make it a deluxe version and see what we could do with it.
Yeah, so it's like you can't really compare. I mean, this like in all honesty, this Blackarachnia here probably will work better with your vintage and I use vintage in quotes here, vintage Beast Wars shelf, like with your old 1996, 97, 98 Beast Wars toys. I think this will work better with that in terms of scale, and the Masterpiece one will work with your Masterpiece ones in terms of scale. So that way, at least, you don't have, I mean, the best looking old school Beast Wars Blackarachnia was when they did the Telemocha reissue repaint, which is they took the old Blackarachnia toy and they gave it as best they could the show colors, and it still was like, as best as they could do.
Yeah.
There's not much you could do with that tarantulas mold. So either way, this I really dig it. I like this a lot. I'm still excited about it. It's going to be something that is going to be on my wish list of stuff to pick up at conventions. But at the same time, guys, let's be real. The Masterpiece one is still head and beyond, way above it. Anything you want to say about this?
I think it's still pretty cool. Like the fact that we're getting the deluxe that we kind of never got. The re
done right.
Yeah,
much.
The design that we never ever got.
Well,
sadly.
and the engineering
again,
here,
not to knock the animated one. To be very honest, not to knock that one. That was a really good one too, and it was very different because, sorry, the art style of the engineering was very different. I got to mess around with that one. It was pretty cool. So,
and you bring up a good point though, because in a lot of ways, like I get it. Like I look at the way this one is. This looks like something that if back in 1997, Hasbro was like, you know what, we're gonna give Blackarachnia her own mold. This almost looks like something that would have been their take.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It would have been their take instead of just doing a straight up repaint. If they said, we're going to make it from scratch, because you look at Transmetal 2 Blackarachnia, she looks like her character model on the show. Now, granted,
the only way I can see you kind of really milking this mold is you do season 1 Blackarachnia, then you do it in Transmetal 2 Colors Blackarachnia, and then you do it in Beast Machine's colors,
or you could do it, or
an
an
mold,
RC,
but you just do it in those colors.
Or alternatively, if they want to be a little retro, they could do it in the traditional Beast Wars toy colors, where she had the purple head and stuff. Or alternatively, they could do it in RC colors. There's not much, in all honesty, there's not much you could do with the Black Widow spider, mold color.
Yeah.
Like, there's not much you could do in terms of, like, characters that's based on. Even Tarantulas, it's the same thing. Like, Beast Wars characters were never really... it's not like G1 where you could look at, a Prowl and right away you have, like, 4 built-in characters.
Or the Spy Changers, no?
Or the Spy Changers. Spy Changers have been colored into everybody. So it's just, I mean, like, where with Beast Wars, it's like, you look at Cheetor and you go, okay, you got Shadow Panther, and then if you want to retool it into Tigatron, and then I don't know, Cataclysm, like then you start stretching, like there's or what was the one that you picked up from BotCon there?
Cat Scan.
Cat Scan, yeah. Well, that's what I'm trying to say. Like,
so worth it.
like a white Cheetor with red accents. You know what I mean? Like there's only so much you could stretch out of the Cheetor mold and/or character. Even though like Cat Scan was based off of the Beast Machines one, but I'm just saying, like, if you want to make like a pre-version, pre-Cat Scan. But yeah, either way, it's still pretty cool. Let us know what you think about this. Let us know if you're interested in picking up this one, if you're picking up the Masterpiece, or maybe even getting both to have something to complement each one of your displays. But let us know.